welcome back to the Maracle Seating Podcast. My name is Christian Maracle. It's really good to be here. Finally, I get to use the podcast for something great other than being confused on whatever I'm supposed to do. Ladies and gentlemen, this podcast is sponsored by Hulu. No one gives a shit about it. I am here with a guest. His name is BCnRollins. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, man. I enjoy it.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you guys know beforehand that I'm contacting BCnRollins right now via Skype, as I did with FGC in the predictions of Payback 2017. We're also, Rollins and I'm just going to call him Rollins, even though it's not Seth Rollins. All right, I'm here with him, and we're going to be discussing what just happened on the WWE pay-per-view event Payback 2017, which happened by the time of this recording a few hours ago. But by the time this video is released, many hours ago. I like to make a lot of jokes every now and then. Okay, so I want to let you guys know we're going to be discussing each match individually, each moment, on what had happened, what we thought about it, and for now, just kick back, take a drink, have some booze, and eat your Snickers, and have your Skittles and Mountain Dew, and enjoy the podcast. Yes. I just basically promoted the sins in a nutshell. All right, first of all, before we begin, Rollins, what did you think so far about the event? Like, if you would rate it on a scale of 1 to 10.
If I had to say, it'd be like a 6. It wasn't the worst show, but it wasn't the best show either. It was just like some booking decisions, just like why. But, you know, it was a pretty decent show.
Indeed. As from my point of view, I would probably put it as a 5.8 or close to a 6, something like that. Because it's more for my case, it's a mixed reviews. That's what I would give it. All right, here's how we're going to do. Let's kick things off with how it started. We kicked things off with the United States Championship. Kevin Owens defended against Chris Jericho with the stipulation being if Jericho wins, he was going to go to SmackDown. All right, so by quality of the match, what did you think about it?
It was just, I didn't get to watch my show back because I was at my cousin's house, but it was pretty decent. You know, it wasn't really special to me, but, you know, could have been worse, I guess. I only watched a few bits and pieces of it, so I can't really say anything about it.
All right, well, in my case, I'll take over for that.
Yeah.
It was like their WrestleMania match. It was very great. Had a lot of great moments, like here and there. Sorry about that, I belched a little bit, but they was really good. They had a lot of, I already said they had a lot of great moments. What am I talking about? But back and forth action, that's one thing that we really enjoy seeing in an opening match on a pay-per-view event. But let me ask you this. What did you think about the moment Jericho won by submission with the Walls of Jericho?
That was honestly probably the most shocking moment of all because there were so many rumors about him going away for a little bit to go to on Swazi tour or take a break or something. So it just didn't really make sense to me. But, you know, I'm not complaining. I love Jericho, so I'm happy he's going to stay for a while.
Yeah, either he's staying for a while or he's probably going to lose the title rematch this upcoming Tuesday on SmackDown. We don't know about that, but either that or Backlash.
True.
As a matter of fact, FGC in the predictions video said if Jericho would win, he'd probably lose it at the Backlash event, so there's that to think about.
Yeah.
What I think about it, I like the moment where Kevin hung on to the first time in the walls by just a finger, like he did at WrestleMania when he got the code breaker. Hung on by just a finger on the ropes. Guess you could say he was fingering the ropes. But I like how Jericho went ahead and assaulted the finger, assaulted the hand.
Yeah.
First time I ever saw people focusing so much on a finger. But that actually worked and helped to his advantage. He put the walls back into Kevin, and Kevin Owens actually submitted. And I was surprised. I did not see that coming. Jericho wins his second United States Championship. He's been transferred to Tuesday Night SmackDown Live. God, that was embarrassing. I'm just so used to Friday Night SmackDown after watching it for so many years.
True.
Anyways, after that, we had the Cruiserweight Championship where once again they taped they made the ropes purple, they tattooed the ring, and they changed the pay-per-view to WWE Cruiserweight.
Yep. wasn't that good of a match either to me. Their WrestleMania match was way, 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 way better.
Neville and Austin Aries, they, yeah, indeed, like, for those who never watched the pre-show at WrestleMania, their match in the pre-show was very good. I, on the other hand, since I was there at Campbell World Stadium, I had no choice but to watch the pre-show.
Yeah, it was really, really good. The ending was really, really bad. I didn't understand it at all, but you know, it's whatever, I guess.
Yep. Austin Aries wins the match by disqualification. I honestly have not seen a champion get themselves disqualified in a long-ass time in WWE.
Yeah, same.
A lot of the heels these days had won by, even if it was by controversy, won by pinfall or submission.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a pretty crazy that would go down to that. A disqualification victory for Austin. Neville hangs on to the Cruiserweight title. As you would say?
Reap.
Reap. Ladies and gentlemen, for those who heard that, I'm still trying to figure out what the hell that even means. Alright, next one. Tag team title match for the Raw Tag Team titles as Matt and Jeff Hardy took on Cesaro and Sheamus. Now, first let me question you, because I also asked this to FGC. What was your reaction? What did you think about the return of the Hardy Boys at WrestleMania?
When I heard the music, I just jumped up and I started smiling so hard. I wasn't really fangirling because, but inside I was like fangirling so hard, but outside I was just like smiling. Like, I haven't smiled like that in a long time with WWE. I was just shocked they actually did it. So.
Thank God I was not fangirling either, right?
True.
Yeah, I just lost my voice and shouted out childhood heroes. Holy shit, no big deal. It's the motherfucking Hardy Boys. That's what I said.
Hardy's great.
Just imagine what it would have been like for you if you were actually there in the stadium.
Yeah, that would have went probably ballistic.
We both did. You on the inside, me on the outside.
Yeah.
Kind of ironic because I was outside. That event was outside. But moving forward, at Payback, they faced off against Cesaro and Sheamus in a tag team title match. Now, leading up to the event, that they each had like Jeff Hardy take on Cesaro, Matt Hardy taking on Sheamus. In individual matches, Hardys have been always winning. And at that point, I actually thought that Cesaro and Sheamus would possibly win the match. Yeah. Moving forward, the tag team match itself was pretty good. There was that one moment where I saw Matt Hardy, was he like bleeding out of his eye or something?
Yeah, and then Jeff lost a tooth afterwards.
Jeff lost the tooth, Matt bleeding from the eye. Oh my God, the Hardys are fucked over.
So I think with the Cesaro and Sheamus, since they attacked him or whatever, I feel like they're going to be gone for like a week or two and then like come back as broken, but that's just me.
Well, that could be possible. They've been beaten so badly that they'll be broken. As a matter of fact, Randy Orton, in my opinion, is the one solely responsible for Bray Wyatt being Bray Wyatt, because, considering he punted Husky Harris in 2011, and we never heard from him again. When Husky Harris came back, he was this guy named Bray Wyatt.
True.
One single punt kick can send you into losing your mind, and all of a sudden you become the most scary wrestler around.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hardy Boys retained the tag team titles after poor Matt Hardy got sandwiched in that swanton bomb on Sheamus. Jeff Hardy delivered the swanton. Sure, Sheamus got the hit, but unfortunately Matt Hardy was underneath Sheamus and thus got sandwiched to death. Anything to retain the tag team titles, we're fine.
Matt took it for the team.
Indeed, they both did.
Yeah.
Jeff losing a tooth, Matt bleeding from the eye. But by the match's
Cesaro's
end,
been a heel in a while, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, by match's end, Cesaro and Sheamus turned heel, assaulted the Hardy Boys. I'm actually kind of glad they did, instead of just a bullshit, handshake, there you go.
Yeah.
Just like they've been doing for the past couple weeks.
It also doesn't make sense. The Hardys have not cut like one promo in the ring since they come back.
Well, they did have a couple of backstage interviews and everything.
Yeah, but like not in the ring.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that was just a minor lag in the Skype call, but don't worry, everything's fine. Can I still hear you pretty well?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, if
Cool.
you hear some laggins, ladies and gentlemen, that's because, we're contacting via Skype, and sometimes that shit can happen. But yeah, Cesaro and Sheamus' heel turn really saved a really poor after-match moment in this tag team title match. Sure, Hardy Boys hang on to the championships, but the real story is what Cesaro and Sheamus did afterwards by assaulting the Hardy Boys.
True.
Now, with that being said, we went on to our fourth and shockingly last championship match with 3 more matches remaining. As Bayley defends the Raw Women's Championship against Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss, one of the many wrestlers who went over to Raw in the Superstar Shakeup, or as I just like to call it, the Draft. First of all, why the hell did they call it Superstar Shakeup when it's just the Draft?
Yeah, I'm hearing a rumor that after SummerSlam there's going to be a draft.
Really? Second draft in 1 year?
Yeah, they're gonna after SummerSlam there's going to be a draft, but it's just a rumor, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that when we get to that, but
yeah.
The match between Bayley and Alexa Bliss taking place in Bayley's hometown of San Jose, California, apparently the commentators said 25 friends and family members of Bayley were there, and I'm like, really? 25? You got 25 people to buy tickets? I could have gone to other people?
Yeah, like freaking right when they said it was in her hometown, like, yep, she's losing.
No, I actually believe she was winning because, Alexa Bliss had won the number 1 contenders match in her hometown of Columbus.
True.
But, the match itself we had some good back and forth moments. There was a few moments where we believed that Bayley had the victory or Alexa had the victory. What I found hilarious was Booker T messed up the calling of Bayley's finisher by calling it the belly to Bayley.
Yeah, that's what I heard that. That was terrible.
Belly to Bayley. I'm like, what the fuck? Isn't it Bayley to belly? That's what it's supposed to be? And I was like, okay, that's kind of super weird, but okay, whatever you say. In the end, was it Bayley tried to do a roll-up on Alexa? I don't know if it was a roll-up or something, but Alexa kicked out and Bayley went going head first into the ring post.
Yeah, it was.
You can watch it on the.
I thought she was actually injured for a second.
I think she actually was. Mm-hmm. Nevertheless, I guarantee, there would probably be a lot of fans out there that are going to say that was not a fair victory because Bayley was hurt. And I'm like, it's not Alexa's fault that happened.
It's wrestling. It happens.
Yeah, people get hurt. That's how it works. Like CM Punk once said in 2011, hell, this is professional wrestling. This ain't ballet.
Exactly. It's just, it happens to everybody.
Indeed. So Alexa Bliss took advantage, hit quite the DDT. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
And becomes the first female to win SmackDown Women's title and the Raw Women's title.
So does that mean Charlotte's going to win the title soon? They're just going to switch brands and just win both titles?
Well, even if she does, it doesn't really matter. Everybody believes Charlotte was going to be the first to actually win both those titles.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like, oh, good, Alexa Bliss is the first to hold the SmackDown and Raw Women's title. But from my point of view, I'm like, if Charlotte wins the SmackDown Women's title, she still gets something bigger than Alexa because, unlike Alexa, Charlotte's been NXT Women's Champ.
True. That means she's won, every women's title.
If she would win somehow against Naomi in the future or whoever's the SmackDown Women's Champ, she'd become a 7-time champion.
That's insane.
1-time NXT champion. I believe that's how many times she's won it, right? 1-time NXT champ. 1-time Divas champ. 4-time Raw Women's champ.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, 4
times. She
times.
could be probably the greatest wrestler of this generation, or greatest woman wrestler at least.
She's a 6-time champion. She's only 10 reigns away from her father, Ric Flair. Already.
That's actually really weird.
In about a couple years, she's a 6-time champ. If she wins the SmackDown Women's title, she's going to be the 7-time champ. She may end up winning more championships than Ric Flair. And she may not be a male, but that doesn't mean that the record could not be broken.
True.
Indeed. All right, anyway, Alexa Bliss, new Raw Women's Champion. I'm excited to see how that's going to turn out. Next one, the most talked about match, yet the most confusing match. It's the House of Horrors match between Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. Now, over the course of a number of weeks, we've been wondering, how the hell is this going to play out? So it turns out, basically, it's the final deletion 4.
Yeah, it's literally the final deletion.
The reason I say 4 is because one.
But honestly, it was sick though. It was really cool.
The reason I call it Final Deletion 4 is because like first Final Deletion, Hardy versus Hardy. Second one, New Day versus Wyatt's at the compound. Final Deletion 3, Deleter Decay. And Final Deletion 4, House of Horrors. Seriously, we can make
this is really cool though. I really enjoyed this segment.
We could like have like a whole like a horror movie series out of this.
I know, right?
Like cinematic movie style matches. WWE must be really inspired by TNA. Anyways, it started out in an unknown place. When I first saw the House of Horrors and everything, the one thing that came into my mind was, oh, it must be Naomi's home. Because it was glowing so much. I was like, oh, Randy's gonna feel the glow.
It's true. That's great.
So, enters through the door. That was quite the fight in it. Inside, it looked like just your average house, though.
Yeah, it looked like just an average house. Just looked creepy.
What really was scary was the moment that Randy entered that one room, and there was all those like doll babies hanging and everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. That was probably like that actually creeped me out a little bit.
But to me, like what really creeped me out. WrestleMania, the maggots, the earthworms, and the cockroaches appearing in the ring.
Yeah, that was pretty gross too.
That was very cool. That reminds me, ladies and gentlemen, should I put a vomit warning sign in my WrestleMania Sins Part 2? Because I actually vomit in it. I'll get to that another time, but yeah. Let's see. They went on for a while. Then there was the moment they fight for a while, but then Bray starts hiding somewhere just so Randy can tour the house a little bit so we can see more creepiness. Then they fight again. Bray knocks a refrigerator all over Randy and gets inside Randy's freaking limo that he used to come over to the House of Horrors. And off he went to the arena. Guaranteed, though, this was obviously pre-recorded before the event.
Yeah, because it was edited like crazy.
Yep. Also, of course, they had so many cameramen in there that was invisible.
When Bray was getting drove off in the limo, he's like, he's at the whole world.
Yeah, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll also tell you right now that it was at that moment, before Bray went to the limo, that my satellite went out because of a thunderstorm, and because of that, I couldn't see the show. But luckily enough, I was Skyping a friend of mine, and he just turned the camera over to his TV, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can continue watching here. So I somewhat did not miss anything. Since he was like a minute or two behind my broadcast and everything, I got to see the fridge go over Randy one more time. So I'm like, oh, good, I'll be caught up then.
Yeah.
Goes off, but in between the time where Bray was in the limo and between the time like he returns to the arena, there was the other match that went on: Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe.
That was pretty disappointing.
Yeah, I wanted to see a lot of great things out of those two, and the match itself could have been very better. Especially it's Rollins and Joe, right?
Yeah, and honestly, Joe should have won because he needed a big win. Like even though I'm a huge Rollins mark. My YouTube name is it, my Twitter handle is it, my Instagram, my Snapchat, everything is about Rollins. But I knew Rollins had to lose this match because Joe needed a big win. He hasn't really done anything since he's gone on the main roster.
Yeah,
it was kind of disappointing that
made his debut on the main roster the night after the Royal Rumble. Yeah, he never appeared at WrestleMania at all.
Exactly, he wasn't in the Battle Royal. He didn't interfere in the Seth Triple H. He wasn't even at Mania.
Yep, he was not even there. It's gotta suck when you're 100% ready to go and yet you're not even on the card. And that was because they had an overflowed card already.
Exactly.
Yet they still had time for a freaking Flo Rida and Pitbull concert.
I'm not
gonna dwell on that though. You can watch my Sin videos on WrestleMania 33 to pretty much dwell on that. But moving forward, yeah, I believe Samoa Joe could have won this match. It would have been great because it looked to be for a while that he was Triple H's heavy, but since Triple H is gone now again, he's nobody's heavy.
Yep, he's now nothing.
Yep, he lost to Seth Rollins via a roll-up.
Yep. He doesn't have Owens anymore. He doesn't have Triple H. So what is he now? He's just there?
He's just there. It's that one moment where was almost like the CM Punk situation. You know, they were like, I was like, so what am I going to do? I don't know. We'll come back to you. Now, the CM Punk situation, that was like crazy. But as for this case, it almost seems like it's similar. And I kind of find it ironic because, you know, Samoa Joe and CM Punk are close friends in real life.
Yeah.
And Punk once quoted Joe as one of his best opponents ever when he was like in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I love Joe in Ring of Honor.
Indeed. Everybody wanted Samoa Joe to come to WWE for so many years. And when he finally shows up in WWE, I mean, he did a good run in NXT. Very good. But when he came to the main roster, he's being treated like a joke.
Yep, and he just lost to freaking Rollins.
Yep. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with losing to Seth Rollins, but it's the fact that he hasn't really done much or accomplished much of anything since he made his main roster debut at the day after the Royal Rumble. And so, like, I'm just saying to myself, like, for those guys who want other people from other promotions to come to WWE, you better be careful what you're wishing for because this could happen to them. Like everybody's saying, I want freaking Adam Cole to come to WWE. What if Adam Cole ends up being treated like the biggest joke in WWE? Like, what if he becomes the next Curtis Axel or something like that?
Yeah, freaking Adam Cole, Young Bucks, Kenny, they could be treated like this. I mean, I really want Adam Cole to come to WWE, but still.
Everybody wants a lot of people to come to WWE, but little do they realize that it's just so that they can say, oh man, this is cool. This guy who I liked in this promotion is in the freaking WWE. This is going to be the freaking best thing he's ever done. And then when you watch it, it ends up being the complete opposite of that.
Exactly.
So that's why we never understood that. All right, Rollins defeated Joe, and at that moment, Bray Wyatt returned, and somehow midway, the match continued between him and Randy Orton, and he was still able to do his entrance.
Yep.
But then when he blew out the lantern, Randy was behind him already.
So how did Randy get in the arena?
Is he the freaking Undertaker?
Don't.
Yeah, that was really crazy. But then of course, the Cena brothers and Jinder Mahal showed up.
Yep, and Jinder Mahal still had the title.
Yep. That he probably took from his palace. Sorry, I had to say that.
Freaking Bollywood boys attacked him. Then Randy hit Bray with an RKO. Then Jinder came out
with the title belt.
Then with the belt again. And then Bray Strabigo. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Indeed, the feud with Randy's over. Finally, it's about time Bray came out on top in the end of a feud.
Yeah, that was a while. Even though it was due to outside interference, but whatever, it was no disqualification.
It's a House of Horrors match. No holds barred. Everything's legal. It doesn't count as cheating if it's legal. That's the way I see it.
True.
But then finally we go to our main event, Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns. The match itself was a little under 12 minutes, actually.
Wasn't that long. It's basically a squash match. I didn't really see Roman get that much offense in.
Yeah, Roman got a few things, a few Superman punches, a few other things, a couple of ring post shots, a spear. But Braun Strowman pretty much dominated almost the whole thing. It was not as bad as John Cena versus Brock Lesnar from SummerSlam 14. That was worse. That was a complete squash match from start to finish.
Yeah.
And it was also not as bad as the Goldberg matches we've been seeing lately.
Yeah, it was pretty decent, but it wasn't the greatest.
Indeed. Braun Strowman defeats Roman Reigns. Everybody's going to be like surprised because Braun didn't just beat Roman, he beat Roman fair and square.
At this point, I'm like, right in the middle.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't understand what's the big deal about defeating Roman Reigns or defeating him clean. I honestly don't get what's so great about that. But nevertheless, like, it's kind of a shame that Roman Reigns, off a victory from the freaking Undertaker at WrestleMania in the main event, is getting dominated and thrown around despite the fact that he has finally, in his words, claimed the yard of the Undertaker. I'm like, the Undertaker had the yard and dominated it for over 20 years. Roman Reigns lost it in 5 minutes.
So does this make it Braun's yard now? Like, how does this work?
I think if this was real, if Roman Reigns was really the perfect candidate to take over the yard of the Undertaker, he would know how to defend his yard. It's one thing to get it, it's another thing to actually defend it. And there's Braun Strowman who easily takes him down just like that. But of course, like, the way I see it, I'm glad they had Braun Strowman defeat Roman Reigns at Payback because, like, Braun, following WrestleMania, was finally starting to regain the dominance that he had when he split with the Wyatt family from the WWE Draft in 2016. Except with with 100% less jobbers, and I wouldn't count Kalisto as a jobber, though, I'll tell you that.
Kalisto's new theme is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Even he looks exactly like Mysterio, though.
I mean,
sounded like him.
Here's the thing. Braun Strowman assaulted the hell out of Roman Reigns that one time a couple weeks back. Threw the stretcher down that like alleyway into the truck areas, and then tipped over an ambulance. Yeah. And then after that, he suplexes the Big Show, destroys the ring, and despite the fact that he lost the dumpster match to Kalisto, he dominated and was on top in the end.
Yeah.
Point is, like, Braun, in my opinion, lost the dumpster match via like a slip or something like that.
Yeah. I
would kind of quote it as a slip or something like that, but that's the way he lost, and he was back on his feet and kept going. Threw Kalisto down that stage inside the dumpster. Man, somebody saw what happened to McFoley. Like the Generation X. I still remember JR saying there are people in there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But moving forward, I'm actually glad they did not have Roman Reigns make a big comeback to defeat Braun Strowman, because if that would have happened, Braun's path of dominance would have been over just like that.
Yeah, it would have. It would have been really bad.
Then a lot of this build up, all just to lose to Roman Reigns in one single match. But no, that was not the case. Braun dominated, destroyed Roman Reigns, defeated him in the match, and then, however, afterwards, this is the big one we should talk about, is the post-match assault that happened on Roman Reigns by Braun Strowman.
Yeah, on Raw Talk. It was, well, not on Raw Talk, that was afterwards, but, yeah, that was pretty dominant, and then freaking the crowd started chanting, "Thank you, Strowman," then to Roman, "You deserve it," which was pretty uncalled for,
yeah,
but...
Like, I'll be quite honest, like, it's one thing to not like Roman Reigns. I can understand if people don't like Roman Reigns or the way he was pushed or the way he was made and so many things, and I know everybody's still very upset with what happened when he defeated The Undertaker in Undertaker's last match, but the thing is, like, the post-match assault, especially the freaking steel stairs right to your fucking ribs, which causes him to cough up blood. I'm like, I mean, Roman did literally nothing to deserve that, is what I'm saying. I'm not a Roman Reigns fan. I'm not the biggest Roman Reigns fan out there. But from my point of view, that doesn't mean that he deserved what happened to him.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people's excuse...
like, Roman probably actually got injured. Like,
yeah, pretty much everybody's excuse whenever you're asked why, like, it's like, why do you think Roman deserved that? Oh, because it's Roman Reigns. Because it's just because it's Roman Reigns. No big deal. That's not exactly the way it goes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the post-match assault, there was that. Braun's dominance continues. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen now on Raw. But also, like, there's a lot of things that's going on Raw that we'd be wondering about. The situation, like, Jericho and Owens, that's going to happen over on SmackDown, I guess, now. Cruiserweight title match ending in a disqualification. Cesaro and Sheamus heel turn. That'll be interesting what the Hardy Boys would say about that. Alexa Bliss in the women's title. Bray Wyatt. I wonder what he's going to do next. Now that his feud with Randy Orton's over.
I think he's going to go on with Finn Balor, because that would be just amazing.
The Eater of Worlds versus the Demon King.
That'd be amazing.
But you want to know what I think? Because, there was that situation on Raw Talk where Braun attacked, or tried to attack Roman again, ended up going right through an ambulance door.
Yeah. Because
Roman just moved out of the way. The way I see it, Extreme Rules are going to face off in an ambulance match.
That's what I'm going to say. This feud has been really long. I'm not really liking it.
But, I mean, it was paused. It was paused so Roman could face The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But then, once again, reignited afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I like Braun's path of dominance right now, but from my point of view, if they do face off in an ambulance match, and if Roman Reigns loses, if Braun Strowman loses an ambulance match to Roman Reigns. I'm probably thinking to myself, like, oh, that's okay if he loses because he's not being pinned or submitted. He could end up losing by accident, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all about going into the ambulance and having the door shut.
Yeah.
Anybody can go into an ambulance and have the door shut. They would just be a little bit embarrassed, but being embarrassed would cause them to explode and pretty much destroy again.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't see it as a major victory. So if Roman Reigns wins that match at Extreme Rules, I'd probably be like, okay, that's fine. That'd be fine with me, honestly. It's okay. Anyways, though, but ladies and gentlemen, that was our review on WWE Payback. And tell me, BCnRollins, what did you think about being on the podcast?
I enjoyed it. Thanks to you for having me. I would love to come again.
As a matter of fact,
it was fun.
Indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, BCnRollins is my co-host for WWE Paper Reviews. I was about to call it pay-per-view reviews, but I would say view twice. Pay-per-view review. I'm like, nah. Paper review. That's, in my opinion, that's what I would call it. I would say PPRV, but I'm like, I don't understand that. I'm not a guy who likes to do initials anyway. I like to be honest with myself, but this is the second show on the Maracle Seating Podcast. I'm going to try to do a third show with another co-host in the future. But as of right now, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Maracle Seating Podcast. This has been Christian Miracle and BCnRollins, our review on WWE Payback 2017. Hope you guys enjoy it, and hope you guys enjoyed BCnRollins being on my channel. Buddy, it was nice having you on here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Indeed it was. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you guys next time on the Maracle Seating Podcast. Christian Miracle is out.